road cleaner. Right then, Mr. B's awesome challenge, let's start it. 10 minutes of optimistic, outspoken, non-negative, upbeat vlogging. Now 10-minute continuous take, that's going to be hard for me to do straight off, because I don't think I've ever done more than about, what, 2 minutes, and then I just cut it up into like a shorter, I just cut it up into a longer blog, because basically I cannot talk on the same subject for more than about 90 seconds, so this is going to be a bit of a challenge. Anyhow, here we are in glorious Bath. Monday morning. The Met Office have given us a bit of a ice warning, so I'm taking it easy and going through Bath instead of where I'd normally go, which is up the top of the hill. Nice nod from that biker. Excellent. That's awesome. Happy days. So, what can I talk about that might last about 10 minutes? The weekend. What did I do on the weekend? I did a lot of spannering on the weekend. This bike is the brakes on the front were getting really spongy again, and if you recall last time when I gave them a bit of a clean and inadvertently popped out one of the cylinders, it took me a while to fix that. It wasn't too bad, so I was more careful with my cleansing procedure. Got that cleaned out, but I also cleaned the bobbins that hold the disc onto the rotor, and I sprayed them with brake cleaner and put a bolt in like Del from Delboy's Garage said, and spin them around and got the crap out. And do you know what? My brakes now are amazing. They are so amazing they've actually almost caught me out. So it'll be quite interesting to see how long that lasts, because the actual cylinder cleaning only lasts about 3 weeks before they start going again, because of all the exciting stuff on the road that ends up in your brakes. Well, everybody's going down here. Okay, see you folks. I'll have to look that up on Google Maps later on and see where that goes. So it looks interesting. Oh, another red light, marvellous. Oh well, on the upside it gives me a chance to do a bit more chatting and I don't have to concentrate on the road. So yeah, we got that done. Gave the bike a wash so it's all nice and clean. And also I did some work on the DRZ. You remember Kato, the DRZ of Doom, who tries to kill you at random and inconvenient moments. Well, she's not dead. She's just resting. I had to do a blur at the back of the house, and it is challenging to get her out. I mean, it's doable. I've cleaned up the back alley now, so it's a lot easier to get her out and down, and I need to get her MOT'd now, so I've been prepping her for that. There's a few niggly little things. The front brake caliper is binding, and the indicators on the rear do not indicate as well as you might hope. So I had the seat off the car. I had the seat off the bike, and there's a problem with the connectors for the indicators on the rear. So I put new bullet connectors on to see if that would help, and it did. It was perfect, beautiful, worked a treat. Put the seat back on the bike, still worked, sat on it, no worky. So there is definitely still a problem with that. I might just break down and solder it, which would be awesome. I'll just have to leave a note there for the next owner. These have been soldered in for a good reason. But the brake grinding problem is a bit more of an issue, because I mean, fundamentally all you need to do with it is what I've done with this bike. the caliper off, take the pads off, give it a good scrub down, and it'll be fine. Well, I had a bit of an issue getting the pads out. The caliper comes off no problem at all, but the little pin that holds the pads in, it's got a dust cap on it that screws in, and it was in. It was properly bound in. So I pretty badly knurled off the edges with a screwdriver, and I thought, right, I can't do this much more, otherwise I'm going to just like lose all purchase on it. So I got the impact driver out, and it wasn't really doing much good with the impact driver. I thought, well, again, if I just don't get this in one good hit, I'm just gonna shear the slot off and have to cut another one in. So I don't want to do that. So like, right, got it all nicely lined up and gave it almighty clunk, and yeah, shore the top of it off and just flattened it completely. That made me laugh. So I thought, right, well, there's another trick you can do that Del Boy from Del Boy's Garage has shown, where you take a hole punch and put it on the edge of the stuck bolt, nut, whatever, and just tap it with a small hammer anti-clockwise, and it comes off. Well, unfortunately, the DRZ, all the bolts are made of Suzuki's notoriously cheese-like metal, and this thing just cuts furrows into it. So that was absolutely no good at all. I don't think that person looked. That was amazing. Not to worry. Where was I? Oh yeah, the Suzuki cheese. So I got an extractor. Now, an extractor is, it looks a bit like a drill bit, except it's anti-clockwise. Anti-clockwise? It's the other way around. So it goes in clockwise, and it's got a conical shape to it. So what happens is you drill in a hole with a normal drill into the bolt or pin or whatever the problem is, and then you put the extractor on your drill bit or ratchet set or whatever, and wind it in clockwise, and it self taps a nice hole, and then because it's conical, it sticks. And this worked an absolute treat. It went in and stuck, and it still wouldn't turn. I still could not get that out. So I nicely knurled off. I nicely braided away the square edges of this thing. So it was just circular all around, the way it's not supposed to be. I went, well, that's a bit awkward. It's not a major problem because I've got a Dremel with a braiding wheel on it. So I dremeled in some new edges for it and gave it a bit more go. And do you know what? It snapped off. So now I've got the brake pad retaining pin in it with a hole drilled into it and the head of a extractor tool embedded in that hole. And the extractor tool is made of hardened stainless steel. So when I tried to drill that out, it wouldn't. Which is amazing. Yeah, that could be a minor issuette actually. I've had a look on eBay for replacement calipers, and for the DRZ you're looking at £90 Don't cross, steer. Oh, you did cross. Well, that's fantastic. It's good to see that the members of the general public are really paying attention. So that was amazing. So yeah, the caliper is it's going to be a tricky one. I'm sure if I took it off and took it to a proper mechanics, I could get that pressed out. The other thing I was thinking of was, as I said, eBay, but it's like they're looking for £90 for a caliper on eBay, which is an extremely amazing price. I mean, I was genuinely gobsmacked, seeing as I got 2 spare calipers for this bike, and each of them cost 25 quid. So what I might do is get Mr. Dremel out again and split the pin actually where it is in the caliper, wiggle out the brake pads, and then see if I can unscrew it from that side. And once all that's done, I'll be in a fit state to MOT it. Oh no, I won't. I tell a lie. There's another tiny little issue that I've noticed over the winter as I've been starting it up and running it for 10 minutes every month or so, just to keep it all in order. And I have noticed that the light which I replaced for a HID, do you remember when I went up that hill and the HID turned off? That was comical. Well, it's doing it again. I know what the problem is. Well, I know what the problem was last time. It was water got into the switching relay. So I think I might just give up on the HID entirely and take it off. Because it isn't my main commuter bike now. This is my main commuter bike. The DRZ, I'm going to try and use that for green laning. Going to find some green lanes, going to find some off-road areas. Have a bit of fun over the summer. I reckon I'll have to put some knobbly tires on it, because obviously at the minute it's completely queued up for commuting, so it's got some Michelin Road Pilot 3s on it at the minute, or Pilot Roads, Pilot Roads, yeah, because it's Pilot Power is the other one, isn't it? So yeah, Pilot Road 3s, which are very good. I've got them on this bike, they're tremendous. Hey, rain, that's amazing. We could really do with a spot of rain. Especially further down in Somerset. They're gasping for it. So yeah, with a bit of luck, I'll have a DRZ all sorted out at the beginning of summer, and we'll go and get muddy. That's got to be 10 minutes. That has got to be 10 minutes of being cheerful and optimistic and outgoing. Oh god, it's far too much hard work, honestly. Did I mention these brakes are amazing? They really are. I'm going to have to adjust them, they're far too far out now. I need to pull the lever in. Because the lever hardly moves at all now, it's brilliant.